Hi, my name's Ishmael and today we're going to be talking about the importance of vetting your tenants. So the reason I'm talking about the importance of vetting your tenants is because recently there has been a big increase in so-called illegal letting. So what tenants are doing is they're getting fake IDs and fake documents, photocopying documents, editing documents and sending them across as real information, saying that they're this person, they're that person, this is their income, this is their bank statements, and so on. Now the problem with this is that you are putting a tenant in your property which you cannot get out easily or at all without going to court, because once they're in the property they have a right to stay. So what they're doing is they're getting in with fake documentation and they're doing illegal activities inside your property. One of the illegal activities they do is a rent-to-rent business. Now I know this business can be done correctly and a lot of investors do this correctly. However, these people who are coming in to do it are not planning to do it correctly, they're not planning on doing it legally, and they don't have the correct documentation in place to actually do it legally, in which case you are probably going to be under a breach of mortgage, or you're going to be, if you've got a flat, you're going to be breaking your lease agreement with the freeholder, your head lease. So you need to be making sure that when you get your tenants you get referencing properly. Now the best way to do this is through a referencing agency, but you do need to, one, check the documents over yourself, and two, make sure the referencing agency is correct, because there are reports that actually 8% of references go through referencing agencies and are not referenced and checked properly, and the background checks are not done properly. So they do the checks and they do check the ID that the person exists, and they do go and check that the bank account is a bank account, but they don't even always do that. And what can happen is they check that there is a person and the person matches the information, but they don't actually check if the person themselves are who they say they are. So what they don't do is they don't do a facial recognition on the person versus the ID. So you need to make sure that whichever referencing agency you use, you make sure that you do that. Now the reason is because if you get them in and they start running a HMO or start running a drug den or hooker's house, then you could be in trouble, because not only are you letting them do these things because it's your property, but you can't get them out. They'll get in, even if it's not something like that, they might just be trying to get in with fake ID because they can't afford the rent. But once they're in, they won't pay a penny towards the rent, and you'll be struggling having a tenant who moved in, doesn't pay rent, and possibly when they move out they damage your property. So make sure you reference your tenants properly, make sure you use a legitimate referencing agency. One which I read was recommended, which I personally do not recommend. I have not used them, so I'm just making it clear that I do not know how good they are. But it's Home PPL, so Home People. Now, I don't know how good they are, but I've read that they are one of the ones that apparently catches these people. And one person in particular was trying to go through the referencing agencies and got caught out 3 times by this agency, because once it's highlighted, anyone who tries to go through them, even if they're going through estate agents, will get highlighted and picked up. So if you have a referencing agency that will cross-reference to other referencing agencies, that's great, to make sure that the person's name hasn't been blacklisted. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and whack that bell notification icon to get notified of videos coming out each and every week.